hear ye, and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll, and tonight I am joined by my very good friends. First of all, we have Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and we also have Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Boys,
yeah,
we're back.
We're back. Here we are.
We're back. We're past Thanksgiving.
Yep.
We're past Black Friday. We're past all the craziness to some extent. And now we got a new show to review.
Yeah.
Star
Wars.
Disney
content,
Plus,
baby.
Star Wars. That's right. What's it called again? Yeah. Skeleton Crew, right? We're fired
Yeah,
up.
there you go. You're in. He's in.
We're fired up. How you guys feeling?
Feeling good, man. Star Wars, I mean, I think we went too long. I think we went too long without some content. So
I think
I don't count Acolyte.
Okay, I
I
think we've gone too long without good content.
I see what you're
Yes.
saying. I see what you're saying. I was like, wait, it wasn't that long ago.
No, yeah. Screw Acolyte. Anyway, moving on.
The show that shall not be named.
Yeah.
Again, which we'll probably come back to it. But hey, anyways, before we start, we are going to review episodes 1 and 2 of Skeleton Crew. But before we do that, just want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in. We really appreciate you. We want to remind you to please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. And please share this podcast with your friends. That would be a great way that you can help us. You got any friends of yours who enjoy Star Wars content, please share this podcast with them. And yeah, we really appreciate that. So I guess here's your spoiler warning. We're going to talk about, because, you know, Disney Plus, a lot of platforms will drop their shows with 1 or 2 episode releases.
Yeah. It's the standard now. Because
Which is so lovely when
Amazon and Netflix.
So lovely when you're reviewing a podcast.
Yeah.
Because we're just going to mush them together.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not going to really go chronological. But
I mean, it's the way they wanted that content to be reviewed.
Yeah,
They put it out that way.
Yeah.
So that's the way they wanted it to be reviewed. Whether that was their true intention or not, that's the way they're saying it.
That's right. So so let's talk about, here's your spoiler warning, everybody. Episodes 1 and 2 of Skeleton Crew. What is y'all's initial vibe?
I feel happy. I feel
Yeah.
I feel happy. Main reason because the show made me feel like uplifted and like good time, fun. Like it dude, it had a Goonies vibe, like 100% Goonies vibe.
Yeah, I did think that actually did go through my mind. I was thinking Space Goonies.
Yes.
But I want to point out that apparently they can find decent children actors in Star Wars. Just chose not to for the Acolyte. Yeah, we're back to it.
Yeah.
But
Dang it,
yeah.
Amato. We've gotten like 2 minutes since I said we weren't going to mention it.
It's a deep scar.
Here we are.
But I mean, I think that's one of the biggest takeaways of the show in general is that so far the child acting has been pretty top notch, especially the girls.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, the two girls have been
absolutely
really, really good. There have been moments where Wim has been
a little annoying.
Yes, a little
There you
annoying. especially after he presses the button on the ship.
Yeah.
He gets he turned into a real baby.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's not all my fault. Well, you know,
it really
kinda
is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I think I got about 3/4 of the way through episode 1, and the thoughts started to cross my mind of like, ooh, I wonder what Tyler's thinking about this series. Like, because he's so anti-young adult
I'll tell you,
teenager
so here-
children
That's right. Hate kids. Here's the synopsis. So, watched episode 1 with my mother-in-law, and I think she summed it up best. When it was over, when episode 1 was over, she was like, honestly, it wasn't too bad. Like, talking about just like the kid stuff.
Yeah.
Because probably what you said, about 3/4 of episode 1, it was just them in school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, I just hate just school, anxious, you got
Drama.
this test, you miss it, you're late, now you're in trouble with the principal, you're in trouble with your dad, you're in trouble with whoever. Like, you know, it won't be long before there's bullies, which there kind of was. Like, she was kind of bullying.
Oh yeah,
him
she
a little
100%
bit.
was a bully.
So it's like,
And then she of course had a bully of her own.
Yeah.
that's
bike
right.
rider.
Yeah, that's right. So like parts of episode 1, I was like, dude, I'm not vibing with this. Like, I was on my phone texting.
You're like,
I wasn't paying.
I gotta review this.
I was struggling to pay attention. But what saved it for me is the mystery, right? So they're on this. As soon as that hatch opened up, I was like, I feel like it's probably a ship. And you see them walk into what looks like almost like a loading bay of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really think it was an upside down starship, but I was like, it's got to be a ship, and I think the mystery of that was really fun. And then episode 2 was awesome.
Yes.
So
Yes, it was.
That's if you're wondering what T-Roll was thinking, that's what I was thinking.
Which
Good.
is almost like they put those episodes together
For a reason. Yeah.
to keep you watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think it's a generally a good strategy if you have a plan for it. I think it's a good idea to do it that way.
Yeah.
The issue becomes if you do it without a plan and the episodes don't really make sense, then it's kind of like they don't go together. You're like, well, I don't know why you did this. But I feel like it was a good, you need an episode to kind of set some character development and things in line, and then you can really go on the true adventure of whatever story you're
Which
drawing.
I feel like episode 1 was the true setting of the characters up.
Yes.
And I believe we just got that by itself. There'd be a lot more negative things to say about the show. But because you get the tonal shift in episode 2, but also kind of taking the characters that we've got, the school, that vibe, but then changing their entire world.
Yeah.
And now they're in literally they're in Pirates of the Caribbean. They are they are dealing with the scum of the earth, and with how they know life as they know it, and it's a change.
I will say that we did talk about kind of the monotony of the mean school, but the opening scene, space piracy, was pretty awesome.
That was.
Yeah.
Seeing the
boarding the ship
yes.
with those prongs that just blasted through the ship.
Yeah, one of the cool it was super cool, innovative idea of well, how would you board a ship as a pirate?
Well, now
now you know. Because if you think about it, it doesn't make sense to go to their own ports because those are going to be easily defended and very hard to break through.
Yeah.
So you create your own portable, things. And it was super cool and
It was awesome.
but yeah, that was super awesome. Seeing that come about and just it was very jarring the way they just had them come out of nowhere.
And I'm glad the Wolf Captain or whatever he was.
Brutus.
Yes,
Brutus.
the second in command who becomes the captain.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad they showed up again in episode 2 because there was a part of me that was like,
Why are we looking at?
well, it was was that a flashback? Was that current now? I was a little confused by that, but they came around, which was good.
Yeah. It looks like it's a short period of time between these at least.
Right.
I'd probably say at least 6 months.
Yeah, I'm willing to get on board with that as well.
Yeah. Are we assuming the initial pirate captain that was?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
That's
1000%,
to tell you the truth, it sounded like Jude Law.
Yeah. Okay.
But on top of that,
I like
it
how
was just
he knew what I was asking. I didn't even get to answer or ask it fully.
It did.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's gonna be interesting to see the development of that character now too
Yes.
throughout this, which we know he is a prominent member of the series. He's our series regular. We didn't get
Yeah.
the rug pulled us like Carrie Ann Moss, like we did in the beginning, where she was there and then she dies and then she comes back as flashbacks.
Yes.
We're not gonna get
it was
that this time.
that was a weird. Yeah.
What show is that again?
I don't know. Anyway,
The Disciple.
but
Something along those lines.
But this had a very Star Warsy feel to it, as far as the world building.
Yeah.
And I love seeing these new wrinkles of.
But it was also interesting because it
universe.
was it was Star Wars, but it also was a part of Star Wars you never thought about.
Yes.
Who would have been yeah, I want to see the suburbs.
Right,
Dude,
exactly.
dude.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, where are we?
Driveways?
Yeah.
But because of that, because of the the in your face, we're in the suburbs, Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember when to the one planet
That's
and it was
true,
Earth, right?
Yeah.
Anti-Earth or whatever it was called. Because of that, it kind of makes the reveal that when they're leaving the planet, and they're like, "What are those?" I think they're planets or stars or something. I've never seen them before because there's a dome over them,
Yeah,
Yes.
the barrier.
a barrier.
Yeah.
And then later on, as the story goes on, they're like, "Oh, nobody knows our planet. We have no idea. We're asking for directions and nobody can tell us.
Well,
we're lost."
the droid didn't know.
Yeah.
And then this is cool. This is part of that world building. Everyone at Port Borgo, which, by the way, what a place to maybe go on vacation.
Fantastic, right?
Yeah, man.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
it's-
dude, for sure.
Yeah. Tortuga.
Yes.
1000%.
Every time they said they're from Atten, everyone's just laughing as if it's like you're saying you're from
Neverland.
Yeah, Atlantis. Something
Atlantis.
like,
Yes,
There you go.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, even in the world building of like he's pulling out the credits. What were unique about them?
Yeah, they were old Republic.
Mint condition, old
Yes.
Republic credits. Everyone's like, "Whoa, where did you, little kid? Where'd you get this?"
Yeah,
You know?
and clearly they're more than like a small credit. Like he did two small things to the little the ferryman,
And he just ran off.
Ran off.
He quit his job.
He quit. Like he basically He's
Yeah.
like, holy smokes, I got this much.
I'm done. Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy, but then this adds to the mystery of like, okay, what's this world? What does this world look? What planet are they in right now? Because
Yeah.
their skew of like money and finances and like just everything they know about the world is like not what it appears to be.
They're in this very bubble world.
Yeah.
Like it's very interesting because it's like is it because they seem to be aware of the fact there's an outside world, but there doesn't seem to be a true calling for anyone except for Wim to leave this world.
They have and just practically the barrier, like not a great barrier.
Well, towards
how'd
the
they
end of
get-
episode 2, they even say it's impossible. You can't leave the barrier.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so that's more to look into.
So what? Yeah, like, do you guys remember seeing like if it looked weird or if there were like shots being taken or did they just casually go through?
They just went. Yeah, they just went through, and I think that's the way we're supposed to be viewing it.
It's like
because
a faux barrier, man. Like there's actually
I think,
barrier.
I think it's a ship. I think it has to do with the ship because the way the ship crash landed there, who knows how long ago, they had some sort of like code or something that can easily get through what they don't have anymore.
Or it could be something just as simple as because of the fact that starships aren't allowed in or out, that makes it an impossibility. If you literally don't have the technology to do it, then yeah.
So I think there's more to the story of the ship alone and the previous crew. Like I think that's going to come into play as well. And
we did see. I mean, straight up, they said they died in a duel. So like, what happened there?
Yeah.
You know, obviously, whatever was happening with the droid. You know, he was very much he was doing something while the ship was crashing.
SM-33?
Yes, SM-33. He was turning on the power, or was he trying to turn on the power? Does it seem like?
I
feel like he was trying to turn.
That was the door, wasn't it? I think he was reaching for the door. He was either trying to, because when they pulled that, the door opened. The power didn't turn on. The door opened.
Okay.
And so, like, they got the power on, and then they pulled it, and then the door opened. Is what happened.
The door opened or door closed?
It opened because they needed to get out. Remember?
But didn't the robot doing that make it close?
It made it close.
I think it made it close
because they were already in.
Yeah, they got in.
Yeah.
And then what happened is the droid after messing with it, his arm came down and closed
But
it.
basically, it was the door. When he was frozen, it was the door, right? So when they found him, he was reaching for the door. So he was
I think he was trying to
open or close it. I don't know.
I feel like he was trying to. Do
you guys think it's just convenient, like a ship landed there? Or do you think there's something significant about this starship and this droid?
I think there's gonna be something very significant about it.
I do think there's
it's
something
part of the
significant.
story. It's gonna be an unraveling to figure it out.
Yeah.
I
I definitely think so, especially because think about it this way. So you have this planet that is completely built on finances, and you have literal pirates trying to come to that place, and they love money, like to an nth degree. So there's obviously something on that planet. Maybe there's literally a cache of these old Republic credits that is something like insane, like an insane amount of them, like mountains of them. They have like a safe full.
It's funny.
Like
it's funny you mentioned.
It's very similar to like the inverse of what happens at the very beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was funny that you mentioned like the finance and how it's a focus, right? And I like the kids when they were talking about what they want to be. He's like, I want to be an analyst. Like, no, I wanted to be an analyst. I'm like, wait, what are we talking about?
And then
like,
and the teacher's literally like, oh, we're gonna need tons of analysts.
I'm like, what?
It's like it's a very weird planet.
This is the planet they live on. Like,
I really want to learn more about this planet. Yeah, for sure. And like, who got out that knows that there's actual treasure, because there is treasure. There's resources there. Like this little kid is holding all this money that is. I wonder what it's valued like. What the real value of it is. Right?
Yeah,
real true Star Wars fans know the value.
Yeah, well, that's great,
and I don't. So I don't know.
But like, I mean, yeah, when you think about the fact that his dad literally just was like, here.
Oh, I know.
Just
right?
like
like
even that
money.
scene
Your
like
week's
is
allowance.
interesting. It's also just an interesting idea when you think about like the way he gives it to him, and like the nonchalant nature that kind of throws like it makes you start connecting things in a way of you're like what's really happening here, this literal bubble world,
Right.
of what's happening.
I left you $20 on the counter for pizza.
But
Dad, what if I want wings and pizza?
Yeah. Well, it almost feels like, if you leave $20, now it would be like, okay, but then like, 1900,
right.
you'd be like,
Yeah. But that's what I'm
what'd you
saying.
be
Like,
able to do?
Who? So it is a real planet, even though people think it's myth.
Yeah.
There is real resource and treasure there, even though some people think it's myth. So like, who got out? Kind of like, I guess like in Black Panther, like Claw knows about the vibranium, and like there's rumors about it, but everyone's like, no, that's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, who got out? Like I want to know more.
Yeah.
about this planet.
Was somebody got out like Wim and maybe gave up then? Maybe it was Wim's mom, maybe she,
we don't know.
something happened with that. Because she was the one who used to read him stories.
Yeah.
So like, who knows with
that's a good
that
point.
kind of thing. But it could be that, or it could have been the way that it could just be that it's one of those things where Adam shut itself off from society so long ago that it became a myth, but there's still people who search for it, kind of in that sense.
Kind of like the Force is viewed in some ways like it's a myth.
Yes.
In this universe.
But yeah, at some points it's kind of wonky in the way that people perceive the
Right.
Force,
Yeah.
which it was an interesting, like, it was almost like a third way to view the Force in this one, because generally you have two ways of viewing the Force. Either it's, hokey, like gibberish, or which is kind of like what ends up happening in like the newer ones, or like it is like in the prequels, and it's just it is a thing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
Whereas in this one, it's like them and like the Jedi are like they're real, but they don't feel like they're fake, and they don't feel like they're a part of their lives either.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting like middle ground almost.
Yeah. So here's a fun one. What did you guys think of the assessment the kids had to take in episode 1?
I mean, it definitely was tough for sure, right?
Gosh.
Like,
I mean,
It's just like, and what did she call it? The not the teacher, but the
the robot.
No,
the mom
the
of
mom
of the
Fern's
girl,
mom.
of Fern's mom.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what her position was at the school, but when she gave her big spiel, she said the great work, and great work was both G and W are capitalized. She said it twice, and it was like, I was like, that just seems interesting.
Yeah.
Like, what like it sounds like everyone takes this assessment, this test, and your entire life is planned out for you.
Correct. But like,
What if they're like the accountants for
the Empire?
the empire, or for the emperor?
Oh, Emperor. Ooh,
Like-
interesting.
I mean, because so you think about what he had to do to get himself back where he was.
Interesting.
He needs somebody to make him money. He
Yeah.
needs somebody to work with his money. And why wouldn't he
Yeah.
like put it in a place that
Oh, look at
is
this- look at
fiction?
this
I know.
theory,
I know.
huh?
I'm loving this theory. I mean, it could be. It could be.
Wow.
And especially to make it in a mundane way to where it's like hidden.
Yeah.
And I do love like some of the mundane things that they're kind of like making this world feel a little bit,
Yeah.
because
Well-
it kind of reminds me of like Andor and like the bureaucracy
Yes,
side
correct,
of Andor.
yeah. And the robot teacher who, like, I don't know, I started snoozing.
Droning.
Like, I was
He's
like, holy
droning.
crap! These kids are listening to this mathematical
Oh, it was
equation.
awful.
I'm like, what? Pass
Like
out.
they gave that like at least like come on, give that robot some personality.
Yeah. Oh.
Like even if you're gonna drone.
If you're gonna solve these equations, if you're gonna pass this test, these kids, they're gonna need some magic mind, fellas. Like they are going to need something to help you get. That's a long assessment. That's
is.
a long test, right? And I really hope that Neil, our boy Neil,
Yeah. Oh, we love Neil.
who, yeah, we haven't even talked about Neil.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. I hope that Neil, because he really cared about that assessment.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that he had a magic mind that
Focus,
morning.
man. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Magic Mind. The one, like, when I say focus, like, people are like, oh, what do you mean? Like, you just concentrate harder? No, like, it really does. It kind of like, you feel like you unlock something in your brain, and you're like, holy crap, like, I'm actually getting these tasks done. Like, I'm telling you, for work, it is so beneficial, man. Like, I'm able to knock out all of my tasks for the day in just like an afternoon because of the amount of attention I'm able to give the assignments. And plus, the natural B12 does help give you that energy to get through that block of time as well.
Yeah, you need a good mental performance shot. And that's what Neil needed for his exam. That's what we need for this podcast, and other content creators need the same thing. And that's what you need at home. So here's what I want you to do. If you want to try out Magic Mind for yourself, here's what you got to do. Go to magicmind.com/RoyalPod20. When you're there, you can use our code RoyalPod20 to get 20% off of your Magic Mind, okay? So one more time, that's magicmind.com/RoyalPod20. Use our code RoyalPod20 and you will get 20% off your order. Be sure to do that today. So, yeah, let's talk about Neil for a little bit. So he's kind of like the innocent, lovable character,
the nerdy best friend, essentially,
who you really, more than anyone, feel bad for.
Yeah.
He's just, he's dragged along on
Yeah,
this.
he's just such a good friend. He's taking a bath.
Yeah.
He's, you know what I'm saying?
He's naive.
But in a sweet way.
Yeah.
He's the Milhouse to Bart Simpson. Like that's really what he is. He just gets dragged along in these situations.
And you kind of you like him. You love the character.
Like he's not annoying. Yeah. He's just a little bit tentative is like really the only thing about him. Like, you know, he's not the annoying like know-it-all, but he's just,
which I feel like Wim's gonna play the annoying character, but he's also gonna play like the brave, like he's gonna be a mixture of two worlds, and Neil I think is gonna be the grounder. Like he's gonna ground him into like not going too far, that kind of thing. Like,
although I think Fern Fern has I feel like Fern should really be the brave one. Like she just seems like she's out there. Like I should take that role.
I think there's going to be some layers to Fern. I think. Yeah. Out of all the child actors, Fern's clearly the better one. I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Sure.
And
best performance.
And because of that, I think that we're going to get some really, really dynamic.
We're definitely going to get some stuff about like her and her mom.
Yes.
Like her and her mom. There's something there.
You could tell. Like I can't explain what, but it's like. Clearly, her mom is wants her daughter to be the most studious, perfect student. Yeah, but she's a rebel who just wants to race bikes.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And KB, she's doing the whole data from Star Trek thing. Like she's doing that whole role very perfect. Like,
she's a smart science person. You know.
And like when he's SM-33 is explaining how to drive the ship, he's like, "You got that?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, definitely, for sure." Yeah, like that. And all the other kids are like, "Can you do it for us?" Like,
sure. Oh man, SM-33 is awesome. God, dude, I hope
when he came out, dude.
Yes.
Full cocking his arms back.
Get your hands off my captain, or don't touch my captain.
Yes.
And he better be back.
I know, man. I hope that they shot him, but then they threw him in some.
Yes, correct. And she fixes it. KB fixes it.
Yes. Which they talked about. Like that's a plan. Like
it's part of the plan.
So I bet. You know, you don't know for sure if he's dead.
Yeah.
Or decommissioned or whatever.
Yeah.
So I bet they'll get him out. That's the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would assume that that would be it. Like maybe they'll make something to where he Jude Law wants to get off the planet immediately, but they're like, no, we have to go back for SM-33, and it's a little bit of a little side mission before they can actually get onto their ship.
Well, some character development with Jude Law's character can be intertwined there.
Him really wanting to push
to get
them,
off the planet,
but then he shows a little bit of heart because he allows, and he kind of maybe helps them a little bit.
There you go.
Uses the Force, maybe.
Yeah,
which we saw him use at the end of episode 2.
What does that mean? I have no idea.
So the kids get dude, their scenes in the marketplace were pretty incredible. Not gonna lie. Right before they get caught, the girls split up and the boys split up. Which is dumb. Absolutely.
Yeah. I love the fact that Fern straight up calls it out.
Yeah,
it's she's just exasperated with the others.
So I have two things here. Okay, so number one, obviously the adult working house where the girls were, right. Do you think that working girl was trying to like traffic them, like kidnap them, or was she genuinely concerned for them?
I wanted to ask you guys this too.
Okay, because I was like, I'm pretty sure she's trying to like kidnap them and traffic them.
Oh yeah, Amato.
Yeah.
But
I'm on the other side.
Genuine.
I think she's genuinely like.
I was too.
Why? Because I mean, I don't know why you would say to the kids, "You guys need to get off this plant. This is not a place for children."
Yeah.
I would have if I was her and that was your plan. You would say, "Oh, it's this place. It didn't say to be out in public. Come with me, all."
Yeah,
like I feel like it would have been more of a here, go to a secondary location type of place,
right,
rather than you need to get off this planet now.
Yeah, but she was kind of like, "Come on, I'll get you out of here." She did say that, didn't she? Like, or you need to get, like, "I'll get you out of here," and she was pulling him, right? Like, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was
so
pulling him.
I feel like that was also kind of suspicious.
It was sus.
It's possible that her like she has some.
Yeah.
I took it as genuine.
But another one where she was like, "Where are you guys from?" And they said at and she's like, "Come on, y'all, let's be real."
Yeah,
like,
where are you from? Yeah, like.
Yeah, again, it's like you said about like someone saying like I'm from Atlantis.
Yeah. And how about the kids like
from Mars?
Wim and Neil just sitting down at a bar top, like, "I'll have what he's having." And
yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on here,
dude? Yeah, and that little rodent or something that they just he kills and
like
the guts come out. Yeah.
It almost reminds me of like the scene from is it Phantom Menace where Jabba's eating. And like he like he just like he just like has a creature and he just like he just like snaps the creature and then he eats
slurps it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yep, and
Tough world.
and that's where he starts flashing the money around, man. Like the kids these days, man. What's wrong with you guys?
That.
You don't just go showing the cheddar, man.
I
Come
know.
on.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to. Neil's like, pay him. He's like, he had already realized something with the money.
Enough? Like,
yeah, but he had already realized something with the money was up, so he tries to hide it. And then Neil's just like, his dad gave it to him for lunch money.
Yes,
like
lunch money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but what was the one pirate that comes in later with the bartender? I forgot his name. Was that the one from Boba Fett? Like,
what's funny? He did look
feel
familiar
like
to
he
me.
was very familiar.
It starts with
yes.
a V. I think his name started with. I don't know. In Boba Fett, his name was a V, I believe.
Does that mean we're getting Mandalorian in the show? Probably.
He's coming halfway through.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Take over the whole
cast. It might have been him, might have not been him, or same species. Like, I'm fine with it. It's either way. He looked cool. But anyway, they ambush him, and then this is where we see SM-33 come in, which he puts up a valiant fight, dude, busting heads.
Yeah,
stay off my captain, and then finally they're trying to get away, and they get captured by Brutus and Jaleel White as a cyborg.
Yes,
Urkel.
Yes, Urkel was
amazing.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
I was like, hold on, okay. So what are we doing?
Cyberpunk upgrades.
Yep. And then, so they're in prison, and I love how they incorporated the rat that was in the eye of SM-33 as like as a focal point, like as a member of the team.
I know.
Yeah.
And like
I think that rat's gonna show up again.
I hope so. And he's gonna be in SM-33. He was gonna look for SM-33. There we go. Shamato. I'm writing it myself, dude. You don't need to write that. It's SM-33.
That makes sense.
And honestly, like the way they're doing it makes it seem like there's more to like that rat than actually
meets the eye.
Exactly.
That's where
like
you
legitimately, like there might be something like either the rat's more intelligent or has more to do with SM-33's existence than just him randomly popping.
I would
out
love
of
to see
him.
that. I really would. But
maybe he's his mechanic, like Boba Frick or something like that.
Boba
like
Frick, dang, that'd be funny actually.
But
so the rat does not get the key and runs away. But then we get the quote. I love this line here where the shadowy figure in the dark, and he's like, what is it? Distance is just an
illusion.
Illusion.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Distance is just an illusion. I was like, ooh, we got some Jedi magic about to happen right now. And the key floats and comes to them, and that's how the episode ends.
And he said, "You're a Jedi," and I don't think he's a Jedi, but I love how he just said, "Shh," like a Jedi would.
Yeah.
Like low profile, like.
Yeah,
I liked that. I don't know if that means he is, but
I 100% don't think he is. I think he's just somebody who is
force sensitive.
I think he's force sensitive.
Yeah,
but maybe potentially after the fall of the
Empire.
Not fall of the Empire, but fall of the Republic.
Oh.
And maybe he came in after that, so he was able to be force sensitive, but he didn't.
You couldn't show it.
But he couldn't really show it in too many moments,
Right.
and essentially being in the pirate kind of protected him maybe a little bit from being picked up by the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it gave him a little like cover because he had people around him who were strong enough
Yeah.
to fight if
And
they need to.
I will say this so far about the first 2 episodes. Episodes 1 and episode 2 like had perfect endings. Like episode 1 ends when they go into hyperdrive, and like
Yes.
and episode 2
Yeah.
it ends with him being like shh, and then
The pacing's good.
yeah.
The
Yes.
pacing is really good so far. I just, yeah, I'm optimistic. I hope it continues to impress me because I like you guys, like you were worried about me, Justin. I'm like, man, kid show, like,
Yeah, I know.
so yeah.
So I didn't really do much research into the Skeleton Crew until about like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, about like when the trailer dropped, and I was like, I watched the trailer. You went in blind, right, T-Roll?
Totally blind.
I watched the trailer and I wanted to talk to you about it, T-Roll, but I decided not to. I was like, I better not tell him it's kid based. Like,
Yeah.
I better not tell him it's like, because I didn't know it was gonna be kid based until I saw the trailer, and I was like, huh, this is interesting.
Yeah. I didn't know a whole lot about it. I knew there was gonna be kids involved though. Yeah.
But literally, that's gonna be their story.
Yes.
About how they're gonna get home.
Yes.
And
It's essentially like
of course you're gonna have one adult with them and a robot, and the rest are all kids.
Yeah, it's essentially it's going to be all about
Droid.
him,
Yeah,
like
droid.
wrangling kids. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be like one of those classic stories where someone who did a job that was generally like a rough and tumble job, and now is all of a sudden a babysitter. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's the pacifier. It's
Yeah.
it's Steve from Stranger Things. It's
Oh, yep.
you know it's My Spy with Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations essentially.
But with Jude Law's caliber.
Yes,
So it's
yes.
going to be interesting to see because honestly, he's a fantastic actor.
He is.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize him and what kind of storyline they have for this character.
Yeah. One more really cool scene that I want to shout out. The speedster scene from the first episode and just how much it reminded me of the Forest Moon of Endor.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Same.
So, like, that was really... I liked seeing that, and just it was like... It was it, but it was like, you know,
Yeah.
just like... It was a nice homage to,
Yeah.
Yep.
to
I
that.
mean, the
Yep.
sound
I
alone.
thought of that, too.
I was just like, dude, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
You know? And a school bus too, right? Like, right. Come
Yeah.
on, let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Neil in his bathtub. You
Poor
mentioned that
Neil.
earlier,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Poor
Thinking about
Neil. Just, he did his test. He had a long day. He's taking a relaxing bath.
Yep.
His friend shows up. And he loves his friends. He's there for him, but
Yeah.
man, is he misguided.
Yeah.
And the whole time too, Neil's like, "I'll help you study. Like, do I gotta fail? Like, I'll join you." And then
Yeah, dude, he's
Yeah.
such a bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 100% there.
Oh.
Also, like, why wasn't... I mean, I guess he was a little intimidated by his dad, but, like, been like, Dad, I accidentally overslept, and I missed the bus. I tried to get there. That's why I tried to get there as fast as I could.
I think his dad is gonna be like
But-
a little bit more of a, I don't know, intimidating figure. I don't know,
I
to him at
yeah.
least. Yeah.
I feel like his dad was a I don't know. I don't necessarily see intimidating. I see his dad as an overwhelmed, like,
Single parent.
thrust upon single parent. That's the way I see him.
Yeah, that's better.
like
That's better.
like I feel like in some ways you could say, oh, maybe he's not that great of a parent, but I think it's really just like he's an overwhelmed parent. And I think especially with the way he acts about going out to see him, and then the way he comes to the droids,
That's a good point.
kind of shows more that like he really does care. He just may not know how to present it or share it necessarily, but like because he's just trying to survive, I think,
Yeah.
and do whatever he's best for his son. And I don't think he connects as well with his son as obviously the mother did.
Yeah, exactly. And he wants to, but there's something there. There's a story with his mom. Did the mom leave? Did mom die? Like, there's a story there. So
Well, I think it's very similar. Like I think the same conflict you're seeing with Wim towards the school is the same conflict that he has with his father, because his father is very in line with everything in the school. He was that type of a person, and it seems very much like the mom was more like Wim, maybe a little bit more eccentric, was about stories and things like that.
Right.
And kind of like the opposite attract thing for the mom and the dad. So he doesn't really understand his son because his son doesn't think the same way as he does.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I'm optimistic, man. I'm excited. I'm ready for next week.
Yeah, look ahead, right? Like, what's to come? I don't know. I'm excited for the show. I really am. It by no means was it like a perfect show. That like there's definitely some faults and stuff, but not a lot. I will say that I'm here for the ride though, because I think that this is going to be a good time.
Justin's Neil.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to be Neil this series.
Yeah.
This review series, I'm going to be Neil.
All right, well, boys, let's end it there. Just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Want to remind you to come back next week. We will have a review of episode number 3, and please share this podcast with any Star Wars friends that you may have. All right. With all that in mind, for my good friends Sandy and Shamato, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.